Okay, today, right now, we're doing a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of ELA, and then we're mainly focusing today on moral education. So, first of all, for ELA, I'm actually just going to bring us to the page here for ELA. Where's my other class? What? Oh, what on earth? Okay, that was weird. Okay, so for ELA today, oh wow, look at these. Okay, this is great. So first of all, okay, for anyone who has already submitted to me their draft, okay, your plan, not your draft, your plan, right? Because whenever we're doing writing, it's a process. It's rare that we would just sit down and then just like write something. So it's good to come up with a plan first, at least like ideas for what you're going to say within each of the different paragraphs. And there were some really excellent plans that were sent in with like, just like we learned at the beginning of the year, with like the topic and then the star ideas underneath of that. And then if you have that planned out in your mind, then probably you're going to be specific within each paragraph rather than being redundant and repeating yourself. So if you handed in a plan, there was a lot of people that did, then I will have given you feedback already. This is not being marked, the plan. It's purely just for me giving you some tips for your actual letter, okay? So if you haven't submitted them already, then we're just going to go on to the draft, okay? So the draft is here, okay? So it says, once you've finished your plan, please upload your first draft of the time capsule letter, which you will open when you graduate from grade 12. So you can either write the letter by hand or type it on the computer, whichever you prefer. For the draft is fine. So you can do whatever method you want. Okay. And then this is due on the 15th. So that is Monday. This is due. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully that kind of helps. If you're not sure of what should be included, then I suggest you go back, or even how to set up a letter. And even for like your draft, this should be drafted in the correct format for a letter. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, I suggest you go back and watch Monday's lesson on the format and the introduction to the time capsule. And then Tuesday, we talked more about the plan, as well as yesterday, I went even over the plan a little bit further, okay? So the draft is important to have done for Monday, okay? And then one other little tiny thing for the reading, make sure that you have finished the Justice in America reading. Okay. I can't see how many people have done it from there. Okay, but anyway, I'll be checking that today by the end of the day. Oh, 19 people, right on. Okay, that's awesome. So just a few people still have to go for that. Anyway, yeah, okay, cool, awesome. So hopefully that helps for ELA. Now, the rest of today, we're mainly going to be doing moral ed. And again, this is, I hope, helpful for you and something that you kind of like, I don't know, it might be like a little bit like seemingly kind of like, I don't know, like not useful. And that is like, to be completely honest, when you're practicing these like take a moment in the time outside of when you actually need it, you're building up that strength. It's kind of like practicing playing football, for example. You practice the skill of shooting so that when it comes to a game and you're under pressure of, being able to score in a moment that your team's depending upon you, then you have that skill in your back pocket. You practice it, you developed it for the time that actually counts. And it's the same kind of thing for this, but you never really know when you're gonna happen to need these like take a moment strategies. So I just want to explain something to you more about the brain and kind of how it works. So if you bring out your hand, okay, I want everyone to do this, okay? Bring out your hand and make a fist, but put your thumb down first and then put your fingers over top of it, okay? So it's like this, okay? Now, your fist, or your forearm is your brain stem. So this is where all of the information from your body to your brain goes. So that's super important. Then your thumb here is the amygdala. And that's what we talked about the other day. And that's what we learned from like those videos that we watched, right? And this amygdala is present. That's why it's the closest to your brainstem. Okay, closest to the brainstem. It's there. The amygdala is there for all animals and all like for all humans and all mammals. So it's super close to your brainstem. It's what's called primitive. So that means that you're born with it. And the amygdala is responsible for 3 things. And I wonder if you can remember what they're for. Think of what would an animal need in like nature, right? To stay safe. They are fight, flight, or freeze. Okay, those 3 things. So you're born with it, and the abilities that you have in your amygdala when you're born don't change. They're there throughout your entire life, which is something that's pretty cool that I just learned actually recently as well, because I'm doing some reading on this stuff, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. So the amygdala is there to protect you, okay? It's there to protect animals. It's there like to just function on like the most basic level. But this, which you're wrapping over top, is why the human brain is more powerful and capable than animal brains, right? Like there are animals that are extraordinarily smart as well, right? Like dolphins, they would have some of like this as well going on. So okay, actually you have 2, right? It's like this. Like this is pretty much the size of your brain. Yeah, okay. There's more, but anyway, today we're just going to talk about this. So this is called your prefrontal cortex, your fingers, which are wrapping over top of your amygdala. So your prefrontal cortex is what's unique about humans. It's developed in humans to allow us more abilities than an animal, right? Like to talk, to feel different emotions, to be able to process things, to be able to remember things for a very long time, to be able to move our bodies in ways that like animals, like we also have more capabilities within our body, right? Like opposable thumbs, we can walk, talk, all these things. So this, okay, your prefrontal cortex is where the learning takes place. And this is what can be impacted, and this is what can be changed. And when you're learning new things, these are the neurons that fire, and these are the neurons that wire together. So, for example, this is what helps you remember your phone number. This is what helps you remember or plan for what you're going to do on the weekend. This helps you think of, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that to my friend. I kind of feel bad when I did that. This is what helps you, respond to different people. So, and know how to do like difference between theoretical and experimental probability, and remember what the forces of flight are. All that stuff is stored in here. So the cool thing is this: when you have, and all the stuff we're doing with moral ed, like taking a moment, and what we're going to be doing today as well. So when these are on top of your amygdala, you are in a place of being able to respond. You're in a place of being able to say, okay, I'm not going to let this fight or flight or freeze pop up because I'm in check. I have my prefrontal cortex thoughts and everything working. When this flips, okay, this is called this one really famous brain scientist, he calls it flipping your lid. And usually when you flip your lid, it's like, oh, you're kind of going crazy, and you're in this like fight, flight, or freeze mode. And usually this is what babies do all the time, right? They freak out, and they're like always like freaking out because they don't have this developed yet, right? And we also do this as well. Like if there's a car that's coming at you or at one of your friends or something, and then you're like, whoa, I'm gonna flip all this stuff out of the way. I don't care about what the difference is between experimental and theoretical probability. I don't care what my like phone number is. You're not thinking of that. You're only thinking of this like fight, flight, or freeze, which is the primitive response to being able to stay safe. So sometimes it's needed to flip your lid, but usually we don't want to do that because then people might think, oh, like this person, like, I don't know when they're going to flip their lid, and I kind of might get like freaked out if I'm around them a little bit too much. So we want to kind of remain like calm, cool, and collected, at least for the most part when we're like around other people, right, in public. So developing more of this ability to keep the amygdala kind of like at check is helpful. And one of those things is the taking a moment. Now, expanding on that, there's 3 other parts which are in kind of like the next little bit of this project, and we're going to do one of them today. And the take a moment one was like kind of the most to like wrap your head around. I think that these next ones are going to be kind of more fun to do, and I hope that you can just like whip off this, like the one today, like pretty quickly. We're going to be doing this today, and then I'm going to like sprinkle in a couple more of these like throughout the week as well. Okay, so this one today is called Be Kind. Okay, so this is super important. So it's really important to be kind to yourself, because usually what happens is we're our own worst critic, right? Like we're always thinking, like we kind of think to ourselves, oh, why did I do this? Oh, I shouldn't have done that. And usually you kind of like are harder on yourself than other people are on you. So it's important to make sure that you are recognizing when you're doing really good things and you're thinking about all of the strengths that you have, rather than thinking, oh, this, oh, I wish I had that. Because then eventually it's not going to be helpful. Like it's not going to be helpful to you in, responding to situations. So the thing for today, and this is kind of fun, is to like be kind to yourself. If you come upon an activity that does not seem to fit with your feelings today, okay, congratulations. Okay, yeah. Since you're congratulate yourself from trying it. Experiment with another path, because what you might discover, because you might discover something else. Okay, so these are the different things. Have you pushed your inner critic aside? And that is the main goal of today. Pushing your inner critic aside, kind of going into that growth mindset stuff of recognizing, oh yeah, like mojo, right? Like I can't do it yet. So what you're going to do on this page basically is write down some quotes or some things that are going to help you remember and kind of like pat yourself on the back. Some quotes you could come to just like be kind to yourself. You might also want to reflect on how do you feel after showing kindness towards yourself. So I have this resource which I'm going to send to you guys or post. It's called the 5-Day Self-Love Challenge. Okay, now for this, okay, to get an E on this section, all you have to do is put in, same thing as before, 4 things, okay, that show like a little bit of thought into like how you're taking, like how you're like, you know, patting yourself on the back and like pushing aside that inner critic. So there's tons of things in here. All you need to do is literally, it's kind of like scrapbooking. You can just like cut out these things or write them on a pen, write them on a piece of paper or whatever, or cut them out or just write them down. So same as before, if you wanted to send me, like print this out, I know some people have this printed out, and then like write all over this, you can. Or I'm also gonna put this into Seesaw for you to do, okay? A little bit of kind of like a scrapbooking thing. So this is what the goal is for today, and this hopefully is pretty easy. Okay, so there's one of these things here. Okay, so you're trying to think of, okay, so how many loving and positive words can you think to describe yourself? This activity will give you lots of great suggestions. Okay, so words to describe me, and this could look cool if you do kind of something like this. So this could be one of the things that you choose to do. There's a whole entire bank of words, which I'll post, okay, like these ones. Maybe you even want to cut them out. What do you think that you are? And this is nice for you to think of. Yeah, like you are kind. And then maybe you want to, yeah, like cut that out and then put them there. Maybe you feel like you do have a superpower strength of being calm. Maybe you're resilient. Maybe you're a really great thinker. So whatever you feel like, yeah, I am this. I want this to be included on this page. Whatever you want. Okay, caring, capable. Tons. Energetic, brave, creative. Amazing. Okay. Then, so you could use something from that. And this is also a really nice one. I'm grateful for my body. My body is strong and healthy, right? There's probably a lot of things that you have to be grateful for. Like there's a lot of people out there that don't have like the abilities that you guys have. There's a lot of people who have been in very unfortunate accidents, and maybe they have like, I don't know, something like really quite wrong with them that causes them to be very, very sick. Okay, so it helps me to what? It keeps me, what? My brain helps me what? With my face I can. Okay, so these are like things that you're grateful for. So we're thinking of the positives. My heart is filled with whatever. Okay, so this is another one that you could choose from. Okay, then there's this other one which is kind of cool. You're making a little bookmark, and a little emoji bookmark. So you fold it over and then like, I choose kindness. Oh yeah, it's nice. Like whenever, so this is like something that you could do. So it's like a little reminder of like being kind to yourself. Okay, another one, I'm loved. Yeah, it's good to be able to remember and think these things. I am enough. That I love. That's even a quote that you could put on to your Be Kind page. I'm enough. That's super important. There's a very famous author who really believes that. Her name is Brene Brown. Okay, I can choose my thoughts. I love this one. Okay, if we were in class, we would be doing this. I'd have all these brains printed and you guys would be doing this. Okay, so I can choose kind thoughts. Sorry, we can choose the kind of thoughts we think about ourselves. Yeah, and this is the whole point. The kind, empowering, and supportive thoughts will make us feel strong and loved. It's true. And if you have those thoughts in your brain, you're connecting those neurons more, and then it's going to make you believe that in the moments where maybe there's external things that are popping in, that inner critic is saying no. If you have those positive things formed in your brain, then you're going to be able to like rise above whatever situations in the future. So I'm going to post this whole thing. People that want to print this out and do this, it could be so cool to actually have like on like a vision board or something. Like I think this would be amazing to have. Okay. So ideally you'd like draw this brain or cut out this brain. Choose the thoughts which can make you feel strong and loved. Cut out these thoughts and glue or tape them onto the brain page. And add one more positive, loving thought. So yeah, like something of yourself. So this could even be, if you wanted this to be like, I'm not saying you have to have one of these. You have to have 4 things on the page. That's so easy to get an E. It's just like you're writing 4 nice things about yourself. And this could be what you maybe make it look like. Maybe you want to put the whole brain on there, and then I can choose my thoughts. I make lots of mistakes. Yeah, I am proud of myself. Okay, cool. So these are all the things. Okay. I can't do any. Okay, so you have to pick the ones that are like, the positive ones. Like, would you pick this one? I can't do anything right. Like, would you make that as one of your like thoughts? Maybe not. That's not probably the best one. Maybe I can't do anything right yet, or I'm still working on things. My ideas are no good. Okay, would that be a really good one to add in? If I see that, I'm going to think, no, you haven't chosen 4 good ones. It shouldn't be that hard. Okay, so they're really nice. Good quotes for you guys to use. And then there's this cute owl thing. Owl will always be amazing. Oh, like I'll always be amazing. Favorite thing to do. One favorite joke. I feel happy when. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Okay, one thing about, yeah, okay. So anyway, there's a whole ton of quotes in there. All you need to do is basically include on here, okay, the be kind. How have you pushed that inner critic aside? And how are you going to show kindness to yourself, okay? And then, so 4 different ideas, okay? 4 different quotes, 4 different things. And maybe it's even like, it could even be different than this. Like it could even be like, I'm going to, after I finish all of my homework, to be kind to myself, I'm going to treat myself with watching a movie or something kind of like that. It's kind of could be like a little bit of like take a moment as well, but really it should be like quotes, and they're called positive affirmation statements is what they're actually called. And then I would like you to write down, how do you feel after showing kindness to yourself? So I would like you to include this, okay? So it's kind of like that could be anywhere, like maybe at the bottom. And then, yeah, 4 methods for pushing the inner critic aside. Okay, I hope that helps. And yeah, let's say that this is due on Monday, because then I'm going to show you another one on Monday. And that's going to be like the last kind of thing for Moral Ed. Okay, good work. Oh, also, I'll be sending you guys your marks from the first part of Take a Moment today. Okay, good work.